For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for the first edition of the Patrick Stanton Show here in 2023-2024. Currently joined by Wheeling University head cross-country coach Patrick Stanton. And Patrick, you guys are getting ready to start the season here at Bethany. Talk about the build-up for this season and the excitement your team has.
Yeah, we did pretty well with summer training. We didn't really shake up the boat too much. Took a couple people up in mileage and things like that. Some people had some busy summers and some things going on that they needed to make adjustments for. So it wasn't like it was this big like uptick in mileage like we took last year for the group. Most of the group is returners, so a lot of it was sort of like a continuation of what we've been doing. But you know it's been working. They've been firing on all cylinders since we got back. I think this summer, a lot of the group that we had last year that was young has just grown a lot as people. So they're just more experienced runners, more seasoned. So even if they aren't seeing an uptick like in their total weekly mileage each week necessarily, they've just grown a lot as people, and they're just running more mature. They're running more confidently. And then some people have taken an uptick in mileage as well. So, we're seeing a little bit of both. But the big things that we've been focusing on since we got back to campus is just continuing to build our group as a team, continuing to build those relationships, and kind of setting this group in as the foundation of the groups that we want to build going forward. Because we returned a lot of people from last year, and we also return a lot of this group next year, and some of them even the years beyond. So we want to make sure that like when we're building the right way, we're building the right intentions, the right habits, and just focusing on building the relationships first. And so far it's been working out. Like the team's been in great shape. We had our Bob Kramer like inter squad race last weekend, and all the returners ran faster than they did last year. It was really by an average of about 20 seconds. So for over 3,000 meters, like that's a huge time drop. So we were really excited to see that. Any workouts that we've done that we also did around this time last year, we're seeing big time drops. So what we're doing is working, so we're just kind of trusting the process at this point.
And you talk about building those relationships. You start out your fall camp with your week at Lance Farms training there. Talk about that kind of experience and how it helps you guys grow together.
Yeah, Lance Farm is awesome. If you've never been out there, I know you have. But that's where the school does like the Kairos retreats and the passes and some other retreats out there. Not great cell phone service out there. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So it's really a good opportunity for us to kind of disconnect from the world, focus on building our team and building our relationships. And I mean, really, like we don't do anything too different training wise. Like we're really only running once a day. We do core, we do body weight, we play games. And things like that, but we're not doing anything too wild training-wise. It's pretty hilly out there. I guess that's really the only difference. We're really just kind of focusing on, like, team building. We have a lot of team meetings. We talk about our goals for the season. We set our goals for the season. I challenge them to meet as a group to talk about team goals. And then I challenge them in certain ways to think about obstacles they've overcome and ways that they've grown in their lives, and we kind of use those to get a little bit personal and deep with each other. So we're building those stronger bonds. If you can get vulnerable with a group of people, then you're just automatically going to get closer with that group of people. So we're just kind of setting that tone of supporting each other, being there for each other, and just growing as people.
And then you talked about the Bob Kramer Invitational, which you ran last week, your final preseason performance. Talk about that event and kind of how it went overall.
Yeah, it was awesome. I've got no complaints for that day. It's always sort of like, okay, how's this going to go? And it's always a big event that we like play up for the track team as well. We have a cookout afterwards. We make it like a mandatory thing for all the track people to come to and cheer on the cross country runners. And it's like our first big team building event for the track team of the year. So there's a lot of factors that go into that day. So there's a lot of things on my mind going into it. And from a running standpoint, I'm always like, okay, like let's see how this goes. It's just our team versus our team. So the group can get pretty spread out. It's really like kind of a challenge for our team to see like how can they push each other over the shorter race when we've only been focusing on long aerobic work throughout most of like the summer and early season. But it couldn't have gone better. Like it exceeded my expectations. Like I said, everyone ran faster than they did last year. Some people like really surprised themselves and ran like a minute faster than they did last year. So it's a big confidence booster for the team. I think everyone had fun. And it just shows that we're just in a lot better shape than we were at this point last year. So that there's nothing else I could have asked for from that day.
And then looking at the teams kind of on an individual standpoint, we'll start with the men. Again, a lot of returners on that side. Isaiah Browning, Hunter Tomic. Talk about the men in general and how they're looking forward to 2023.
Yeah, we just want to be better than last year. I think that looking at this group, we returned pretty much everybody from last year. So it's just about those guys being better than they were. And I think by and large, that's going to be the case. Isaiah, he's one of those guys, like he didn't see an uptick in mileage this summer. But really, I think that benefited him. He had kind of a weird summer where he had to like juggle some things and debate some things about his future. And that made him kind of make running take a back seat. I think that was great for him mentally. I think that was great for like his personal growth. And as we've seen since he got back to campus, like he's running better than he was last year. So it just goes to show training's not going to be one size fits all. And sometimes you have to get kind of personal with people to see like what's going to work for them individually. So we're super excited about where he's at right now. I'm expecting him to just be better than he was last year. He's always been more of a track guy than cross country, but he's a much more seasoned and mature cross country runner than he was last year, and definitely than he was 2 years ago. So I definitely think we're going to see a big time drop from him. Hunter's in phenomenal shape. I think he's probably taken the biggest jump on the team from like where he was last year to where he is this year. He's been running great. He's a true like capital C cross country runner. Like he loves the hills. He loves the high mileage. Like that is his bread and butter. So he's been eating it up, and every workout we've done has been like night and day better than what he did for that workout last year. So no doubt about it. Like he's going to see a big time drop as well. CJ's looking great. Tyler Crook, he was a brand new runner last year. Like everything was totally new to him. And like this year he looks like a real runner. And he's running phenomenal. Like he's just a different person than he was last year. So I'm super excited about the guys.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head cross country coach Patrick Stanton. And Patrick, now we'll shift our attention to the ladies again. A lot of returners, with the exception of Trinity Ortiz, who's coming to you guys this year. Talk about that female group and how they're kind of going through this year.
Yeah, they look great. Really, Sydney, she looks really good. She saw an uptick in mileage this summer, so she finished 13th at the championships last year, 13th or 14th, I believe. So we're hoping to make a splash to get into that top 10. She's definitely fitter than she was last year. We're working now just to get her a little bit sharper and race ready. But in terms of like aerobic fitness, like she is a lot fitter than she was last year. Gabby Biano, our dual sport athlete, swimmer and cross country and outdoor track runner, she's looking great. Really, like, I don't think we switched up too much about her training this year. I think we made it a little bit more balanced with swimming, but mostly she just looks more comfortable. She looks more confident. She's running great. Like her workouts have been a lot better, and she just knows what she's doing now. Like she's I think just a lot more comfortable in her role this year. So she's looking great. Super excited about her. Sophia's looking really good. We're continuing to learn how to balance everything that she has to juggle, just as a runner. And she's looking great. She's looking a lot more fit, a lot more consistent. So it's going to be good. And Trinity's coming out for the team this year. She's been working really hard. So I'm super excited about the girls. I think that, it's hard when you lose two great runners up top like Caroline and Savannah from last year. But these girls have really been stepping up, and I'm super excited to see how they grow.
And then you guys start the year here at Bethany. Talk a little bit about this first event and kind of what you're looking for from your team.
Yeah, we're pumped. It's a tough course. It's not going to be like a super fast course. But when our conference championship is at Ogilby Park, we have to be ready for hills. So it's not as hilly as Ogilby, but it's kind of like an Ogilby light. It's like constantly rolling up and down. There are a couple of pretty big hills in it. So we want to be ready for that. We're excited for the opportunity to just get better on just a constantly rolling course like that. We raced there 2 years ago. So those who raced that year, we want to see a significant improvement from that. But also there's a lot of teams from our conference that are going to be there. I believe Wesleyan, Frostburg, West Lib, probably a couple more that I'm forgetting. So it's going to be good competition and competition that we're going to see throughout the fall. So we just want to see how we stack up and be competitive.
And finally, from a coaching standpoint, what are you looking for out of your runners? What are some of your goals for this race, and how do you move forward?
Awesome question. I want to see how aggressively they get into some of these packs with the other runners in the conference. I want to see that the runners who have improved, which is really everybody, I want to see that they know that and they're confident in that. So they're putting themselves in the packs that they should be in. I want to see how they battle people because obviously, I mean, cross country is a long race. There are going to be times where you're the one making moves, and there's going to be times where you're the one getting caught. So I want to see how they respond in those moments where they're the ones getting caught, where someone puts a move on them. And not necessarily as a test. It's really an opportunity for growth. These early season races, like we want there to be some mistakes, so that way we know what we need to work on, and we're a little bit more battle tested when we get to those postseason races. So I want to see that. I want to see how they respond to some of those moments of adversity, see how they take the hills, and really just kind of see how they can keep their minds active and aggressive throughout that like long middle section of the race.
Thanks, Patrick. Good luck in the opener. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.